Welcome back, students. So in this video, we are going to look at the 2021 O-level past papers for the ICT examination. So it's going to be at the English medium. So we are going to see how we can optimize our responses even further. Now remember, some of these questions are coming repeatedly. So you will have these questions coming from maybe from the 2020 past papers. You might have some of them from 2019, 2018. So it's always important for you to do the papers over and over again. Take every single paper if you can for the ICT past papers and try to do it over and over again. I can guarantee you can get an A plus without any problem whatsoever. Okay, so let's start. Let me first move this out of the way. Okay. Right. So let's begin. Which of from number one? Okay, so looking at question number one. So let's see how fast we can get these answers. Okay. So remember, when you keep doing more and more questions, okay, more and more past papers, I can guarantee you'll be able to do some of these questions in less than 10 seconds. Okay. That's how repeating they are. Okay, which of the following is an example of data processing task of a user? So we are looking for a data processing task, okay, of a user. So the user has to do some data processing. So let's see. Installing word processing software in a personal computer. That's not data processing. That's more like maintenance. Okay. Formatting the hard disk in a personal computer, that's also maintenance. Reading an online newspaper using a web browser, that's kind of like consuming information, nothing to do with data processing, okay? Calculating the average marks marks obtained by a student using a spreadsheet software. Now, calculating the average marks requires some level of processing. So that means you have to open up a word processor like Excel, and then you need to enter the student details into your spreadsheet, and then you need to write functions. So that's a lot of processing that's involved. So the correct answer is number 4. Okay, let's look at the next one. Which of the following group consists of only input devices? Remember, these are only input devices. So things like keyboard, mouse, light pen, those are input devices. Webcams, microphones, input devices. So let's try to eliminate anything that has an output device, like a printer, speakers. Those are output devices. So we are going to eliminate those by crossing out those ones that have output devices. Like, oh, here we go, CRT monitor. That's an output device. So I don't want that. Then a plotter. Here's another one. Barcode reader, plotter. That's an output device. So that's out. Here's another printer. So the only thing remaining here is keyboard, mouse, and scanner. So that's the right answer. Now, of course, what you can do is you can cut these out using a pencil. Don't use a pen. Just cut them out using a pencil. So that way, the examination officer knows that you're doing an elimination job by eliminating the wrong answer. Okay. Next question. Which of the following cannot be used to permanently store data? So what are the things that can permanently store data? Like magnetic tape, USB flash, hard disks. Random access memory is volatile, which means once the power go off, you will lose whatever that is stored, right? So it cannot be used as a permanent storage. So the random access memory is the right answer. Hard disk, magnetic tapes, USBs are wrong answers. Okay, let's look at the next one. Which of the following correctly shows the given storage component of a particular computer system in descending order? So if it's on descending order, we need to look at the one storage medium that has the highest capacity, right? So what are the things that have the highest capacity? Things like flash storage, things like hard disks, things like magnetic tape, DVDs, CDs, Blu-rays. Now those are the kind of things that have the highest capacity here. So let's see what are the things that have the highest capacity here. Here we have two answers that look like they are right. Okay. So let's examine these two first. So the hard disk seems to be correct. Yes. Cache memory. Cache memory is the smallest. Right. And then you have main memory. Now definitely when I compare cache memory with main memory, I know the main memory is the largest. Cache memory comes in megabytes while the main memory comes in gigabytes, right? So I know that this is wrong. I definitely know that this is wrong because there's a hard disk here in the middle and a main memory here. That's wrong. Main memory, cache memory, I think the hard disk is gone all the way to the back. That's also wrong. So the only thing remaining is hard disk, main memory, and cache memory. So here we have hard disk might come in terabytes, main memory in gigabytes, cache memory in megabytes, right? So that's the right answer. Okay, right, let me clear this out. Let's look at the next question. Right. Okay. In a network topology, okay, so in a network topology, which network is this topology? Most probably, right? Each network component is physically connected to a central node, such as a hub or a switch, right? So what topology is connected using a switch or a hub, a central hub, right? Definitely not a bus, because bus connects one after another in a series, right? Definitely it's not a mesh, because a mesh network contains components of stars, components of rings. So it's a complete mesh, right? So they are asking specifically, right, a hub or a switch. Okay, so mesh is also out, bus is out, ring, it looks like a ring. Obviously it looks like a ring, it goes in a circle, right? So that's why you have token ring topology networks. And the last one is a star network, which is the right answer. So the star networks, basically you connect all your computers, your printers directly to a hub or a switch. If you take my home computer network, I have two central hubs which connect to several small laptops and computers, right? So that's how today's computer systems are connected. Let's look at the next one. Krishna accessed the official web portal of the government Sri Lanka, http www.gov.lk website, to renew her vehicle revenue license online. Okay, which of the following services was obtained by her? So this is from government to a consumer, right? So government to consumer would be, this is government to business, so that's wrong. This looks okay. Government to enterprise, no. Then government to government, no. So this is the right answer, government to citizen. So let's look at the next answer, question. So the next question is, if the character A is represented by 100001 in ASCII coding scheme. What character will be represented by 10000100? Right. So what we need to do here, just keep on just simply adding 1 until we get to this. So if this represents A, let's keep adding 1. Okay. So if we add 1 to this, then you will have 1 0 at the very end. Okay. So you have 0 0 like that tray in the front. So 0 0 1 0. So that represents B. Let's add another 1 to it. So that would represent C. Let's add another 1 to it. Okay, and that will represent D. So what's the correct answer? It's asking for 100. So here we go, 100. I don't need to write all these other characters in front. So I just need only just to get to these 3 digits. So if I get to those 3 digits, then I can make a conscious decision that the right answer is D based on this. Okay, let me delete that now. Right, and let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question is, now if you notice that these numbers are basically repeating all over the place. So which of the following represents the given 4 numbers in a descending order? So we need to convert as fewer numbers as possible to decimal. Right, so I'm going to start by converting, let's say, the binary number. So binary number, I'll just convert this 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 0. So this I'll convert it into decimal. So that's 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. All of these to the power. Okay, 2 2 2. So right, let's see. So this is 0. 1 into 2 is 2. 1 into 2 to the power is 4 to the power 4. Next is 8. Next is 16. So that's 2 4 8 16. Next is 0 0. And this one is 16. That's 32, 64, 128. So 128 plus 16 plus 10 and 14. Okay, so 128, that's is this correct? 128 16 plus 8 9 10, yeah, 14, yeah, so that's 18. Want to carry over 2 3 4 and 5. So that's 158. Just erase this out. Okay, so binary is 158. Okay, next is, let's take the octal value to 33. Okay, so that's 80, 8 to the power 1, 8 to the power 2. So that's 3. Okay, 3, then 24 plus 64. 64 into 2 is 128. Okay, so octal value would be 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 15. 1 to carry over. 5. 1. Okay. So that's the octal value representation. Right. So this is the octal values representation. This is the binary values representation. And then we have the 9C. So to get hexa values representation, we need to get it's 0 to 9, that's a normal. And then 10 is represented by A, 11 is represented by B, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? And that's C, D, E, and F. Okay, so 9C basically means number 12. Okay, so that's 12. Because we are at 9C now, so that's 9C basically means this is 12 and 16 to the power of 1. 16 to the power of 1 multiplied by 9 will give me 54 plus, okay, 54, 5 to take, oops, 5 to take over, and 9 into, that is 144. Is that correct? 9 to the power of 9 into 16. This is why you need a calculator. Okay, 9 multiplied by 16. Yeah, 144 plus 16, sorry, plus 12. Right, so we need to add these numbers, this and this, so that's 156. Okay, so we have 156. That's 156. So this is the hexa value. Right, so binary is 158. So the largest is the hexa value. So the hexa value is this one of 150. Oh, wait, we have 158. Okay, so the 158 is the largest. So that's the binary, right? So binary 158. Next is, okay, so that is correct. So this is the right number as, okay, so we have binary which is 158. Okay, binary 158. Then we have 157 which is the normal decimal, and then we have hexa 156, right? And finally octal 155. So here we go, that's the right answer. So for that you will need to spend a bit of your time. So that is why it's important to get the other questions done quickly as possible. Okay, so let's look at the other one. Like, okay, so let's check this one here. Which of the following is the first software that must be installed on a computer after formatting a hard drive? Right, now you can't, now remember the previous question, we had to spend some time. We are doing the number conversions. When it comes to these kinds of questions, you have to save time. So you have to do this, quickly. So this question, I would say 5 seconds. Okay, to read the question 5 seconds, to answer 5 seconds. Okay, which of the following is the first piece of software that must be installed on a computer after formatting the hard drive? That's 5 seconds to read it. Okay, Next, to go through the list, go through this list: Office packages, operating system, antivirus, web browser. So we know web browser is out, antivirus is out, Office packages is out. The only remaining thing is the operating system is the first thing that you have to install. So 5 seconds for that. So altogether you have 10 seconds there. So you have saved about 50 seconds, right? So those are the precious minutes that you use to do calculations for like number systems. Okay, anything that involves mathematical numbers, you would need to accumulate from somewhere. Like these kinds of questions, you have to accumulate as many seconds and minutes as possible in order to solve those big tough questions. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Which of the following group consists of only language translators? Right? So it's asking for the language translator, like compilers and interpreters and assemblers, things that compile languages like C#, C++, Java, Python, right? So which of the following group consists of language translators? Okay. So here I can, immediately skim through this to find out, whoa, this web browser is definitely not. So that's out. Then operating systems are not. So those are out, right? Operating system is an operating system. It's not a language interpreter. Like it's not a compiler, right? Right. So the remaining one is assembler, compiler, and interpreter. So that is the correct answer. Here's another one. So which means for this also I would say 15 seconds maximum, okay, where you should spend time, 15 seconds. Right. Here's another one. What is the shortcut key combination to find and replace words in Microsoft Word or LibreOffice Writer? Control A is to select all. So that's wrong. Control C is simply copy, like Control C, Control V, copy paste. That's out. Right. Control X is cut and paste. Right. Control X is cut, Control V to paste. So that's also out. Control H is the right one to find and replace. Okay. Right. Let me now go in and let's move to the next question. Okay. Here's one. Consider the following spreadsheet segment with 4 components labeled PQRS. Now, when you are doing your O-levels, that means from grade 10, 11, you have to get familiar with hands-on experience using Excel or LibreOffice Calc. When you're familiar with that, you will immediately know there are components in the spreadsheet, such like, these names, like a name box, right? So this particular one is a name box. Okay. Then this one is the formula bar. This is where you write expressions, right? That's the formula bar. Then these ones are the columns. These are rows, right? And these are considered as tabs, right? So you have tabs, you have the formula bar, you have columns here, and you have the rows. Okay. So looking at that, we need to identify what is PQRS. So I would say P is the column, sorry, the name box. Okay. Next one is PQ. This is the formula bar. Here we go, formula bar, right? Next is columns, and finally S is the tabs, sheet tabs. So this is the right answer. Okay, let's move to the next one.